Haley. You listen to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's on the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young back to throw. In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dies. Touchdown, 49ers.
On the Ravens' 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Smith on third down. He'll take it himself for a first down. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in the post, and it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49. But it's second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for a touchdown. No greater redemption.
Kaepernick shoots it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Yeah. Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we're here to bring you guys a very action-packed, fun-filled show, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of work. So before we start that stuff, I got to say what's up to the fellas, man. Breezy.
Yo!
Up here on top, man. How you feeling, big dog?
I'm feeling good, baby. I'm feeling real good, man. You said this show's gonna be fun. I got the under on that, man. This junk gonna be challenging, yo.
It's supposed to be challenging, man. You know, it's supposed to be like that. You know, this isn't something that people just jump on and do and they fly through it. We're supposed to be thinking tonight. So that's why I'm looking forward to the challenge. I like
because you ain't got nothing to do. All you're doing is grading. You know what I'm saying?
He's kind of set of positions.
No, he doesn't. And then Tony sit back and be like, nah.
we gonna get to all that. I promise you're gonna have it. Look, we already laughed. Tony, man, how you doing there, man? Now, Tony tonight is the real GM. He's the resident GM. So we the position coaches. Tony is the GM. We're gonna break this all down. Tony, man, how you doing over there, bro?
Good. Ready to get into this. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be tough, I think, but I think we're gonna pull through, and it'll be pretty good at the end.
Okay, I'm not gonna say last but not least because I believe Nick is gonna try to pop in here tonight. I believe so. If he doesn't, then you are last but not least. But Brian, man, how you doing? I see the background. I see some names on there that might not be here. You know, I see Sanu is back in there, so it's okay right now. Right. It's okay right now. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about all that stuff. So the background is fitting for the moment. Is there anybody that's not? What's that say over the 49ers logo over your shoulder? Oh, that says Mostert. I think everybody's on there.
Yeah, I think these are all active players right now.
Yeah. Okay. So how you doing, big dog? What's going on with you, man?
Oh, good. You know, ready to get started on this thing. Been doing my homework, and hopefully we can appease the GM today.
Absolutely. Now, as in typical fashion, before we start any show, we go through these formalities, and then we talk about any latest 49ers news. Now, I don't know if there's any new news, so you guys get your thinking caps on for that. I've been crazy and haven't really been on Twitter or anything like that. But first, guys, if it's your first time on the YouTube page, we thank you guys for checking us out. Please do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on your notifications as well, so you know when we're doing shows that aren't just scheduled, okay? We do breaking news videos and stuff like that. Give us a follow on our social media platforms, Twitter and Snapchat. It's Nothing But 9 ERS. We have Facebook and Instagram, and that is Nothing But Niners spelled all the way out, okay? I am your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. Over here on this side is my guy, Wayne Breezy. Below him is NJ Niner Fan 499. And then under me is Stater _Niner. Those are the Twitter handles, guys. Make sure you go and give us follows. Guys, what is the new news with the 49ers? We are breaking the NFL rules, but we're not breaking the rules. We got a private workout that's really public, but only us and the Patriots are going to be there.
And the Falcons.
And the Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons have been added to the list, huh?
Yep.
Ooh, number 4 getting spicy now. Okay. They just brought back the spicy nuggets. So listen, man, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Anything that we need to be concerned with?
They're picking behind us. I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah, man, I'm not concerned, man. I know you want to I know you had some things you were talking about in private, you know, but this I think this is a public private workout where they won't get in trouble in the future. And if they do, just blame it on New England. Just say they cheated.
Learn from the best, right? Bend the rules as much as you can. You got to learn from the best, man. Tony, do you think this workout means anything? Do you think it means anything at all that this guy is running plays that Shanahan uses in practice?
Well, the guy who's running it is actually involved with that camp. His name is John Beck. He played for BYU, played a couple leagues in the couple teams in the league for a couple years. So there's ties there too. So basically what happened, he's just saying, listen, let's see him under center more. Let's see him roll out, move the pocket, throw on a run, and see, and a couple certain routes that Kyle really likes. So, I mean, I don't think it's breaking the rules at all because he's going through his agent to his quarterback coach, the guy that's running the script, and then he tells the player what to do. So I really don't think it's breaking. They're going to be penalized for anything.
No, I don't think they're going to get penalized for anything at all because anybody can go if they want to. So that's why I don't think they're going to get penalized for anything. But I do wonder why Atlanta is suddenly showing interest. I mean, I guess it's the same reason the Patriots are showing interest, right? You just never know what's going to happen. So,
and you got to look at, he's going to have targets there to look at too, right? I mean, he's not throwing into nothingness. So there's receivers check out. There's other reasons besides just the quarterbacks,
I like it. I like it a lot. So is there anything else? Oh, the Niners made a roster move. Roster move.
They already made the move. They just he signed his tender. You know what I mean? Like the move was made prior, but the tender was signed today. Daniel Brunskill. Right?
Yeah.
And Pharrell starts his annual carousel of on and off the squad.
Yes. Which if I'm him, like I know that you don't know when your next opportunity is going to present itself, but that has got to be something so like, why do y'all keep doing this to me?
Right.
Like, why does this team keep doing this to me? Why?
You're on the bubble, buddy.
Let me ask it, every time he comes back, does he sign a new contract and get a new upfront chunk of money?
Well, he doesn't get any money. He's not getting a signing bonus.
They don't give him anything?
No. He signed a future reserves contract. He didn't get anything for that. I mean, you get money once you start working, and that's about it.
Wow. That's very, very frustrating.
But he made more money last year than a lot of people make in a year, even doing the carousel. So.
Oh, you mean a lot of people as in like civilians, non-athletes? Is that what you mean?
Right.
I'm about to say, because he didn't make okay, I get what you're saying.
I will go sign up for the practice squad for $200,000 plus a year. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch Breezy and Tony because I see the background better over there. And now y'all made fun of me for looking like I had Washington stuff on. That one time I had the 49ers, right? But tell me Breezy's flags don't look like they Washington flags. I'm the only person that thinks that.
Yeah.
His pennants?
Yeah, you're definitely the only
it's
person.
It's the right red, man.
Yeah.
It is? All right.
It was for the time.
It could be I'm the one wearing maroon talking junk, trying to throw the heat to somebody else. Look at me. All right, we're going to go ahead and get down to this now. The first thing we're going to do, all right, so let me explain the show to the viewers, okay? Tonight.
Explain it to me again.
So this is gonna be a mini series, okay? When you guys see NBN draft season, this is just part of the season. So this is episode 1. And what we're gonna try to do is figure out how the 49ers put together their big board and then how they're going to draft. But there's a step-by-step process to that. So we are going to start from the very beginning. We're going to look at every single position on the roster. We don't have to go through players individually. Well, we'll touch on them quickly, but we're not going to do a full assessment or anything. We're just going to look at the player, give them a grade, and keep it moving. Those grades are going to then be totaled and accumulative, right? And then after that, we're going to say, all right, well, we need this position more than any other position, or this position is actually better than we thought. We might not have to draft anybody this soon in that position. We're going to do this whole process. And then on another show, what we're going to do is put together a big board. That's when we're going to start talking about draft prospects. Okay, that's when we're going to include the prospects and what grades, what round grades we think we have on them, and so on and so forth. And then the final show of this is going to be our official full 7-round mock. Every single pick in the draft for the 49ers and everyone in between. So this is going to be a long series. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of note taking, and I'm ready to go ahead and get to it. So tonight, what we're going to do, Breezy, you have the list, right, of the players, of the current players on the team?
Yeah.
Or does Brian have that? Who has that?
He emailed it to me. I have it.
Okay. All right. So we all have position groups. All right. So I don't remember what position groups I have.
Hey, Brian, what was you saying you use this list for again?
What do I use it for?
Yeah.
Well, that's only a piece of. I only sent you the very basic information, but my whole Excel spreadsheet's for calculating salary, going forward, movements like that.
Gotcha.
And I also put it in, kind of keep everything basically as much of a depth chart as I can, unless salaries dictate. I also kind of put them in order.
Okay.
Who's getting paid the most, but I use it for a lot of different stuff. It's actually much bigger than that.
Gotcha.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the position groups, okay? We all have our own assigned position groups, and we're going to rank these players. We're going to go from all pro to pro bowler.
Yeah.
Then starters, and then rotational /
Anyone
team
got
players.
any starter hats, Joe? If I could get myself on an old school 49 starter cap, that'll be official.
Dude, an old what? What happened?
You mentioned the word starter, so I automatically thought of starter. Like, you don't remember the company Starter?
Yeah.
I was trying to see if anyone had an old school starter hat. I'm trying to think if I could get my hand, my hands on one.
Could find one. I bet you we could find one. What size? You probably know those are snapbacks.
I don't care. Those are snapbacks.
Yeah, they didn't do fitted. So all right. So each position we're going to grade. I'm going to keep a track of them all over here. I'm going to grade them. So Tony, you are going to say for the players and all whether you agree with the grades or not, and if it's a disagreement, then you'll have a conversation with your position coach, and then you guys settle on a grade. Okay, and then I'm keeping track of all of it over here, and we'll put asterisks next to players and all that. And that way we know, all right, this is somebody that we can keep. We're okay if we can't get a replacement for him. But if one comes in, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you're going to end up knowing which guys you can upgrade and update over. My audio sounds off a bit. And you guys having problems hearing me?
None at all.
Anybody else in the chat having problems hearing what I'm saying? I know I have someone here giving an estimate to renovate the bathroom, so you guys might be hearing background noise. It might sound like maybe my audio is messed up. Maybe that's what you're hearing. So, all right, let's get to this, guy. So, Breezy, what I want you to do you have the list pulled up over there?
I have it right here.
All right. So, what I want you to do really quickly is just now, is that something you can't sort that, can you? Is this sorted by
No, it's already sorted, but just let's start with the position you want to start with.
No. First, I want you to just run down all the names, just all the names on the list, real quick. Can you do it by position? Like, just read off the names real quick.
Quarterbacks: Garoppolo, Sudfeld, Rosen, Johnson. Tell me when to go to the next one.
No, you good.
Running backs: Mostert, Wilson, Hasty, Walters. Fullbacks: Juszczyk, Hockett. Wide receivers: Ayuk, Samuel, Hurd, Benjamin, Richie James, Sherfield, Sanu, White, Craycraft, Jennings, Pro, and Cole. Tight ends: Kittle, Dwelly, Helm, Warner. Left tackles: Trent Williams, Sean Coleman, Justin School, left guard Tomlinson, Shepley, Sinners, Mack, Richburg, Brindell, right guard Brunskill, right tackle McGlinchey, McKivitz, Williams, Leo. These are your edges. Bosa, Willis, Hall, Barrett. Nose tackle, DJ Jones, Givens, Daniels. Defensive tackles, Kinlaw, Street, Kerr, and Coatney. Right ends, Armstead, Ford. How do you say Buckham's name? Ebukam. Blair. Well, we don't know if did Blair sign?
Not officially yet, but
So we won't say Blair. And Kafusi. Will linebackers, Al-Shire, Flanagan Fowles, Nathan Jerry, Sam, Greenlaw, Jonas Griffith, Mike, Warner. Cornerbacks, Ferret, Mosley, Williams, Dante Johnson, Buddy Calhoun, Webster, Fields, Alexander, and Harris, Tim Harris. Free safeties, Ward, Tavarius Moore, Melifonwu, and Edwards. Okay. Strong safety, Marcel Harris, Tart, Wilson, Nakau, and Maiden. Kicker, Gold. Punter, Wisnowski. Long snapper, Tabor Pepper.
All right. Sounds good to me. We good with that, GM? Sounds like the whole roster, right? Okay. Now, we can start the breakdown here. Does anybody want to go first? We want to start with the offensive side, defensive side. GM,
Let's just start
that's the GM's call.
Oh, all
right. You want to rank our need or just go? We'll just go off at the side. It's fine.
All right. So, what position group do you want to go first?
I guess we'll go in order. We'll go quarterbacks.
All right, that's me.
All right.
So, how do you want us to do this part?
All right. So, what we're doing is we're gonna run down all your quarterbacks like Breezy just did, and we're gonna give them all pro status, Pro Bowl status, starter status, or
Yo, can I just throw a side note in there that has nothing to do with the show, but this just bothered me. My wife and I yesterday went to get our feet fitted in a town that we plan to move in where my church is, the church that I play for. About 2 minutes from where we were getting our feet fitted today, there was an active shooter out there. And they found him dead because he barricaded himself. So I guess he ended up killing himself. But had we been a day later, we might have been in that situation. Isn't that crazy, yo?
Yeah, gun violence.
I'm not trying to bring the show down. I just got the text message right now, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even watch the news. Like, wow.
No, that's wild, man. That's crazy. I'm glad y'all weren't out there. So that's
right, because we got our shoes and ran. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the shit. I paid a lot of money for them running shoes, baby. We was out.
Yo, you are a sick dude. I can't. All right, man. Yeah. No. So we're so the rankings are all pro, Pro Bowler,
yes, sir,
starter,
or
rotational / teamser.
See, I don't like that word teamser.
Well, it has everything else ends with ER.
What's the difference between a role player and a rotational player?
Well, I put rotational / teamser because Robbie Gould is a teamser. Like the long snapper, Pepper is he's a special teams only. Like he's not going to be a starter.
Oh, that's that role player type of thing, right?
So gotcha. That's why I said rotational / teamser because those guys are going to be.
But Robbie Gould wouldn't be rotational.
No, he's not. But he's got his value.
But so my thing is, isn't that two categories?
You can call him a starter.
Oh,
I got him though. I got him. So
no, I know. I get what you're saying. I got you.
all right. So you guys got it. You ready to do this? Now
Sure.
every position has a score. So I'm gonna score them all. We'll average out the positions. We're gonna find out which position is the weakest based off of the averages, which position is the strongest, so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm keeping track of all of that here. Nick's not here yet. It's 9:20. Yeah, so I'm assuming that he's not going to make it. All right. So we want to start with the quarterbacks. Let's go ahead and break it down.
Okay. Well, we got Jimmy G. He's our starter at the current position, currently as we sit. He's got 2 years worth left on his salary, and he's also a potential trade candidate for this offseason. We have Sudfeld, who looks right now to be the primary backup, a rotational / starter. You got Rosen, who's I think between him and Johnson, you're fighting out for your third. But once we draft, depending on what we do with Jimmy, right now I have Rosen as the clipboard / practice squad, and Johnson being the camp arm. So if I'm going to give these guys grades, then Jimmy's going to be a starter. Sudfeld will be my rotational piece, and then I guess I would give Rosen and Johnson both practice squad or whatever you want to, whatever grade you give them for that.
Okay.
So you have Jimmy G as a starter grade. You have Sudfeld as you said a rotational guy or the backup.
He's the backup.
And then you have Rosen and so Rosen and Johnson are graded the same way.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to tier them out, then it's going to be Rosen over Johnson. I don't know how in depth you want to get with that.
No, that's cool. Now that's up to the GM. I'm just here for the conversation. See if the GM has any disagreement with that, then that's fine.
No, I agree with Jimmy as a starter, but I would call him like a lower end starter. You're right. We do have him on a trade block to move on from him to see what we can get from him. As far as Sudfeld, he has the most guaranteed contract other than Jimmy. So he is probably going to be around. Rosen and Josh Johnson are the bottom two. If we do decide to carry three, they'll be battling out for the third spot. If not, one of them will go practice squad. And I hopefully plan on we will be drafting a rookie at number 3, rookie quarterback to add to this group. And if we get the right deal, Jimmy G will be gone.
So in that case, then our number 3 pick will be our starter, and then Jimmy G's on the trade block. If we get a taker, Sudfeld becomes the rotational backup.
Yeah,
and then I would assume probably from where things sit that Josh Rosen will have the hand up over Josh Johnson to be the clipboard holder at number 3, and then Josh can go to the practice squad or find another team.
Yeah.
All right. Now we don't want to go into too much detail, guys. So what we're doing is just grading the player real quick and then the position group overall, right? So what we're going to do is I have Jimmy Garoppolo as the starter. I have Sudfeld as a rotational guy. I have Josh Rosen, like you said, as, Josh Rosen and Josh Johnson as same value, right? We're just talking value. We're not trying to project anything right now. We're just putting the name, the grade, and then I'm writing down the numbers. So, for example, we had 1-7 and we had 3 4s. That equals 21 points. Right? 4, 8, 12. Nope, that was 19 points. My bad. I'm glad I did that. 19 points. And then out of the 4 of them, so that position group is graded only at 4.7 out of a possible 40 or a 10. Okay, so that's how it came down to. All right, so we got 4.75. All right, so now whatever group Tony wants to go next, we'll do it the same way. Give us the name, what grade you have on them, and then we'll keep it going.
We'll just keep going right down the roster. We'll go right to the running backs.
All right, so that's my group, right?
Yeah.
So I got Mostert, Wilson, Hasty, Walter, Juice Check, and is it Hockett? Hockett? I feel like it's Hockett. All right. So I have to rate them Pro Bowl, All Pro and starter, and then rotational teamser.
Yes.
All right. Y'all gonna be mad at me. All right, all these guys. All right, I got Mostert and Wilson as starters. I have Hasty as rotational, and I have Walt. I guess Hasty and Walter as rotational.
Okay, so Hasty and Walter, you said rotational. Okay.
And I have Wilson. I have Wilson and Mostert as your starters, which is weird because they were rotation. I don't think we have any all pro running backs for sure, and we definitely don't have any all pro running backs, and I'm not sure Mostert lasts long enough to make it to the Pro Bowl.
Okay. And the fullbacks, we're going with Juice, obviously, as a starter. Flash Pro Bowl.
We got a contribution about my feet. Can I explain that to him real quick? Mike, with your Washington football team colors on. All right. Now, Mike, you rocking the 94 49er colors. Real talk. Like, that was the 94, 95 maybe when they switched to that maroonish color, because I got a Frank Gore jersey with that color in there. So, Mark, we run a lot, and the sneakers that I have, they just like hurt my toes, they hurt my heels, and so we decided to go get our feet fitted on the computer so that it can tell us where like the pressure is, and it can tell you where your bridge is and where you might need more space in your shoes when you run, because when you run, you want to get a size up, like a bigger size, so that way when you run, your feet expand, they swell. And so that's what we went to go do yesterday. So we ended up doing that, and then we paid some good money for some good running shoes. I mean, it's like buying tires for your car. Like real talk. Like the more you run, you gotta change your shoes. So every depending on how many miles you run, you want to change those up. So Mark, I hope that explained it. But I figured out where my arches are on my feet, and why I needed maybe a wider shoe opposed to like Nikes, which are kind of narrow, and that's why my feet would hurt. My feet would hurt. And I had to go up a crazy. They said my feet size was 12, but last time I checked, I wear 10 and a half. I don't know, like, but I run and
Now you know why your toes and your heels hurt.
Yeah. Yo, but it was funny because I got 11 and a halves, and them jugs feel right when I run, but this whole time I've been running in 10 and a halves. Wondering why my toes was hurt. I thought I needed to cut my toenails like every day. Nah. But listen, I wear size 10 and a half in regular shoes. Like, I probably should wear an 11. Anyway, it is what it is. My man Symmetry know what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, bro. My man.
So, did y'all do fullbacks in that, or are you leaving that separate?
Oh, I'm sorry. Fullbacks.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Juice Check, Pro Bowler, and
not
Hockett.
all pro, huh?
Juice Check, Pro Bowler,
Okay,
and
all right.
and Hockett, rotational, or not on the team.
Okay. All right.
That's not a category.
All right.
John B cracking up, yo. I'm sorry. Look, it's real, man. Look, getting size is free. Paying for the shoes afterwards is not. My feet, your body will thank you. Trust me. If you're gonna, your body will thank you, yo. Because I could never figure out why I was having knee pain. Remember last year I was asking the guys in the NBN chat about Matt, about like why am I getting pain? He just I'm getting old, which I am, but it's because I run and the shoes weren't right for my feet, yo. So that's what it is.
All right, GM, do you agree with all those grades? He gave.
Yeah, I see Mostert and Wilson as pretty much the starters. It depends on how they go with the hot hand. What Kyle does. I think Hasty will be around. Yeah, I agree with this. I would just consider Mostert and Wilson both starters.
You consider? I thought that's what I didn't say that.
You said what's his name? Wilson's a backup.
No. I said Wilson was a starter. I said,
Yeah, he said Wilson and Mostert the same.
yeah.
All right, yeah. So then that's fine.
All right. Okay. So that gives us a 5.5 for that position group. And the fullbacks coming in with the highest grade so far of a 6. So that's pretty cool.
Look, y'all not gonna rank on my shoes. I got Sauconys because I didn't get
All
none.
right. I heard you say that on Nitty Gritty.
Yeah.
I always thought it was pronounced Saucony.
So did I, and then the lady corrected me at the
Yeah?
store. Yo, maybe she was wrong.
No, I'm not a shoe guy. I don't know. No,
bro, it's been Saucony all my life.
Well, I wear Fila, so don't listen to me. I know nothing about
But you say it right. It's been Saucony since I was like 5. And so the lady at the store, I was like, yeah, I like them Sauconys. Oh, Sauconys? Yeah, the Saucony. She made sure she let me know. Maybe it's her I don't know, her accent or something.
Who knows?
What you want, baby?
All right. Let's keep it moving, man. All right, Tony, what position?
I did used to wear Airwalks, y'all, when I skateboarded. I did wear Airwalks. Keeping it a buck.
Let's go wide receivers.
Thank God this wasn't me. Yo, when I looked up the wide receivers, I didn't realize we had 12 guys like on the roster.
So I'm just gonna write down grades and then average them out. I'm not writing down all the names, so I'm just writing down the grades and average them out. That's all.
I still think we draft 2 more, but yeah.
Brian, right? Brian got the wide receivers, right?
No, I think Wayne does.
I got wide receivers too. I do have wide receivers.
This motherfucker.
Y'all can kiss my behind. Y'all can kiss my Airwalks.
All right, so here we go. So we're just gonna be like, I'm just giving you an example. Ayuk, All Pro, Debo, whatever. Like just that's what I'm saying. So give us the
I
name.
don't need no example. I ain't stupid. All right, here we go. What'd you say again, Mike? I'm just playing. I got you, y'all. Hope your finger gets stuck in your eye. All right, Ayuk. Shit. Ayuk starter. Debo starter. Hurd rotational. Travis Benjamin rotational teamser. You put them together. Richie James rotational teamser. Sherfield rotational teamser. Sanu one of these guys got to start. I think Sanu is your starter. Kevin White.
Wait. All right, so real quick, we're gonna go back to Sanu because we're not going based off of how they're gonna be used. It's how you are grading them right now, their value. Because if
you're projecting them to be for this season.
If Sanu's just a 4, don't pencil him as a starter when you're giving them these grades. It's just
everybody on this list, bro, is a starter. Well, sorry, most of the people on this team are rotational players or teamsers according to your grading.
Everybody's replaceable, right?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And I get what you're saying. To be that we don't have to look for starters.
All right, Sanu. All right, I got you. Sanu rotational.
If we're doing that, so shouldn't we be projecting slightly at what we expect? So like Ayuk could be a Pro Bowler this season. No, you want what we think they are.
You want how you view them. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if he said Ayuk Pro Bowler. I wouldn't have been mad at that because like if that's how the position coach, which is Wayne, views him, like this guy is special. He's going to be the Pro Bowler. That's fine. But we're not just going to say, well, we got to find a third starter, so we have to give someone that starter. No, if he's just a rotational guy, then that's just what he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because in the end, then we find out we're missing another starter. Then we have to go draft somebody.
Hey, there you go. So it's okay to have holes, right? That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
So you guys are going to be mad at me because if I don't pick Ayuk or Samuel as Pro Bowlers,
no, you're fine. That's okay. You can think that.
But there's reasons why I don't have them as Pro Bowlers.
That's fine.
All right, I can explain it if you need me to.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Sanu was the last person that I talked about, right? And so he's going to be a rotational teamser. Okay. Kevin White rotational teamser. Craig Kraft rotational teamser. Jawan Jennings rotational teamser. Austin Pro rotational teamser. Matthew Cole rotational teamser. So there's only 2 starting caliber wide receivers I have out of this list of 12. 2 out of 12 is a motherfreaking F.
No, I agree.
Dang, me and Tony touching and agreeing, baby. High five.
There's a lot of injuries too. So
I didn't even touch on that, bro. I just
so I definitely think this is. I mean, the 2 starters obviously are Ayuk and Debo. I do think with competent quarterback play, I think Ayuk and Debo could take that next step. But Debo, he's coming off. He had an off-season surgery. Ayuk, I think if anyone's going to do it, it could be Ayuk. Hurd's an injured guy. Yeah, I definitely think we need to add a piece or two to this position group. But yeah, but mostly you just have the two starters out of this right now.
You guys are cracking me up, man.
All right. What's the next group?
Titans.
All right,
I ain't got
that's me, baby. That's me. All right, so I'm gonna put George Kittle. I'm gonna put an All-Pro grade on.
Hey, Mike, what was the grade for the receivers, real quick?
The receivers received a total of 54 points for an average of 4.5. So your quarterbacks are 4.75. Your running backs were 5.5. Your wide receivers were 4.5. Your fullbacks were 6.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to go with the tight ends now. I got Kittle as an All-Pro. I have Dwelly as he's a fringe guy for me. I'm going to put him as a team's rotational. I'm going to do Helm as team's rotational, and I'm going to do Charlie Warner as rotational. That's the only 4 that we have, right? Because we just let go of okay. Yeah, so that's going to give us a total of 22 divided by 4,
5 and some change.
5.5 tight ends. All right, what's next?
The left tackles.
Are you doing individual position groups?
Or
Yeah,
do you
the
want to
tackles, the guards. We broke it up different.
put all the tackles together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do the tackles.
All right. So then I believe that's me also. So
No, that's me, I think.
Oh, you got the tackles? Cool.
Yeah, Wayne has tackles.
Oh, that's even better. I got defensive tackles. That's the tackle I got here. Okay.
It's all good, bro. All right. Trent Williams, All-Pro. Sean Coleman, rotational. School rotational. Teamser. McGlinchey, starter. McKivitz, rotational. And Williams, rotational.
Okay.
Now, GM, again, if you see anything different, that's where you got to jump in and say, all right, yes, all right, no. Like that's what this is. That's what this is all about. The GM is meeting with all his positional groups, making sure they see things the same way. That's how they put together these boards.
Wayne, who are your backups again? Just your two starters, but who are your backups? Who's your top backup in your opinion?
I would say Sean Coleman.
All right, so you're gonna go with Coleman first.
Then School, like both of those guys are swings.
Yeah, they're those two are to fight it out for the swing position. That's if we don't add anybody. I think you're right on with the All-Pro for the left tackle with Trent. I think McGlinchey is going to be your starter at your right. Obviously, I do think his play could improve with the addition of Mack, and hopefully Brunskill and or McKivitz could solidify the right guard if we don't add anybody there. So I think you're pretty good. We got our 2 starters. One's an All-Pro, one's a starter, and the rest are backups.
All right, so that gives this position group a 5.5.
Can I ask a silly question again?
Good.
The numbers, what does that mean? Like, so
all right,
average.
so if you have an All-Pro, he's getting 10 points.
No. Just explain the average at the end. What are we doing if it's a 4.2? That means
we're showing you the strengths and the weaknesses of the team.
You got a grade of a 5.5 for your tackles. So if when we look at the draft, you look at for your position group that has a lower score essentially.
Yeah, but one position. But there's like 35 wide receivers, so the average.
You average it over to the 35.
Right. So if you had, let's just say you had 4.
I got you.
Pro Bowlers, that's going to boost the numbers.
Oh, right, because the number is higher. Yep, I got you.
So that's why the fullback was so far. The fullback is still the highest group because
the running backs
so good. No, the fullbacks. I separated the fullbacks from the running backs.
Oh, I didn't know you did that. I thought
so you didn't have Juice and Hokit, so you got an 8 and a 4. That's 12. So they rank at a 6.
So you're not looking for
the best one. Yeah.
Good job, bro. All right, so you're gonna go guards next, since we're still on the line. Guards and centers.
We'll go to the interior.
That's me. You want me to break them apart for you, Tony?
No, you could just run them right down the line. That's fine.
So Tomlin, I gave a starter grade 2. Brunskill's a starter. Mack is all pro. And then Brindle, Shipley are both rotational. And I don't know how we want to do like Richburg because he's medical. So you can put him down as a rotational if you want to
you
give
got to
him
give him the
grade.
lowest grade. Yeah.
Just give him the lowest
I
grade.
was just going to leave him out since he's not cleared to play, but
I would give Richburg the lowest grade possible, which would be what, a rotational or a team.
rotational.
Brendel, I like where you're going with Mac as an all pro. I think Mac's gonna be more of a pro bowler. But I do like where you're going with that, and I think he could get the all pro because of his name and with this offense and this system could get him boosted to that. If he was in Atlanta, I would never say he can get an all pro label. I do think he can make a Pro Bowl bid. I do like the grades on the guards.
I gave him an all pro because I don't think you can find a better center in the league for what Shanahan does.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said, because I don't think he can't even be considered for that in Atlanta or any other team.
Right,
but
right.
Because what we have here in the system that we run, he's been so successful in, I think that's why he could potentially get that all-pro push. The guards I'm good with. I personally think potentially I would give Tomlinson a little bit higher. I would try to get Tomlinson into the Pro Bowl level, in my opinion.
I would like to see that too. I just don't think that that's going to happen. That's why I gave him just a starter grade.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty good.
You're the GM. You're the one that gets to make that call.
Well, I think we could all agree that he's probably our most consistent offensive line since he's been here.
For sure. Like, I'm not looking to, I don't think that left guard is something that we're going to look in the draft to address. So you can give him a Pro Bowl grade if you want to. But because I don't think that even if he's a starter or a Pro Bowl, I just don't think that we're looking at him to address that.
And he wasn't extended yet, right?
No.
So he has 1 year left on his deal.
No, he still has 2 years remaining on this contract, though.
All right, so we'll go with the starter grade then.
So we changed Tomlinson from a starter to Pro Bowl?
No, we keep him at starter.
All right, so no grades changed from what Brian said.
Just the Mac.
You're gonna make him a Pro Bowl instead of an All Pro.
Yeah.
Also, we're down. Oh shit!
Who's a pro? Oh, Mac is a pro. You said Mac was a Pro Bowler?
Not an All Pro, yeah. All right, so that changes it up a little bit here.
Wait,
all right.
Who are the centers in the NFC? Because Lindsey left.
The whole you want me to go through all those teams?
Wait, who's the Pro Bowlers last year?
Oh, you gotta be Pacific, dog. Let me check for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so it's 5.6. 5.6 for the interior line.
Now, I would argue that when we're talking about the overall grade later, that center with the caliber of centers we're going to see in this draft may be something that we want to talk about, even though they may grade high. Getting somebody behind Mac might be a good idea.
It says the centers were Jason Kelsey, Travis Frederick from Dallas, Rodney Hudson. They all made the Pro Bowl from Arizona.
Yeah, keep him as a Pro Bowler.
I see what you did. Like, I like that.
So we're gonna put him back as a Pro Bowler. Oh
Remember
no,
this
he yeah, that's what. All right, he went for he's getting downgraded from
all pro to
Pro
Pro
Bowler. All right, so that makes that position group a 5.6. 5.6. All right, they were originally a 6.0. The interior offensive line that would have been tied for the highest position group. 5.6 bumps them back down. All right, so what are we going to next? I think that's everybody on the offensive side of the ball.
We didn't do tight end. Oh, yes, we did. That's everybody on the offensive side. We're going to defense.
All right, GM, who you want to talk to next, buddy?
Let's do the corners. We'll start from the back and come forward.
Oh, he threw us for a loop. Okay, I got corners here. All right. So I'm going to go with Alexander, rotational. Calhoun, rotational. Harris, rotational. Wait, let me make sure I got Harris in the right group. Harris is Harris is the corner.
Harris,
Yeah.
Mike.
Huh?
Which Harris?
Tim Harris.
I'm
Tim
sorry.
Harris, the corner.
We're just doing corner. I thought I said defensive backs, but you're good.
Yep. I'm gonna do Dante Johnson, rotational. That hurt. Emmanuel Mosley, rotational. Jason Verrett, all pro. Webster, is Webster on the roster still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Webster, rotational. We brought back Shark.
Yes.
I'm going to give him. I want to give him all pro so bad. I'm going to give him Pro Bowl.
Who'd you give Pro Bowl to?
Shark. K'Wan Williams. Where is Malafanu?
He's a safety.
He's a safety.
He's a safety. Moore is a safety. Ward's a safety. Just want to make sure I'm not. I think that's all of my guys.
Did you say Alexander, Tim
Yep.
Harris?
Alexander was the first one. I said Harris.
Fields?
Who is Fields?
I don't know, but he on this list.
They claimed him off
Mark
of
Fields, I think.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Mark Fields.
That's no problem. Rotational. That's cool.
Did you do Body Calhoun?
Yes, I did Calhoun.
All right. Then you got everybody.
All right. So give me your count just to make sure we got the same number. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9.
9.
Okay. All right. So if I total this all up over here, we have 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 10 and 4 and 8 and 4 divided by 9, 5.1. So 46 in total for 5.1.
Out of 10, 46. Okay.
2, 3, 4.
We roll on to the safety group then.
Yeah.
Do you disagree with any of those grades? Like you didn't have a problem with any of those?
No, I don't. But this is the one problem where it's kind of tricky with the secondary. The majority of these players are gone next year. So I think it kind of makes it a need because of that. If we're just basing this off of 2021, I think it's a fair grade. But I do think we're going to add at least one drafted and a couple undrafted free agents.
Right. We're not taking into next year's salary at all, which we probably should talk about too.
So, all right. What we got?
I mean, maybe we do that when we break down, once we have the order by caliber of player, we can start looking at positional needs based on how this is going to fit the cap.
Yeah.
All right. So Mike, you ready for safeties?
Yeah. Yep. I'm ready.
I just want to make sure you're ready to write them down. So we'll start out with strong. I got Tart as a starter, Harris as a rotational, Maiden, Naku, Nakawa, and T. Wilson are all rotational pieces. So
How many people was that? I'm sorry.
There's 4 rotational and 1 starter.
So that's 5.
Okay.
Right. And then free safeties, I got Edwards, Melifonwu, and Timor are all rotational. So there's 3 more. And then I gave Ward a Pro Bowl grade.
Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any disagreements, and if not, we'll total this joint up and keep it moving.
Total it all up and put it on my tab.
Mike, are you grading these free safety?
I just did safeties. I just looked at the safety position because much as the team talked about them being interchangeable, I think that if they like a guy, they're going to draft the guy.
I think Malafano is going to be a strong safety. He's going to be in a box. He's going to be like a box type safety, or even potentially like a weak side linebacker or a nickel linebacker.
Big nickel.
But I think you're pretty good. I think you're pretty right on with the grades. I do agree with Jimmy Ward too.
You want to bump up Melifonwu? I don't have a problem with that if you want to make him a starter for grade purposes.
Because you said free safety. I thought he was graded in free safety and then strong safety separate.
Right, that's what he's listed as right now on all the sites that I could find. He's listed as a free safety. That's the only reason I separated him out that way.
All right. Yeah, I kind of agree with Jimmy Ward. He gets a Pro Bowl nod. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Safety position gave a grade final of 4.7. Good Lord. Bless you. 4.7 out of 10. All right. Tony, it's on you. Who you want next?
Let's go linebackers.
Linebackers, baby. All right. Al-Shaair.
This is gonna be fun. Come on. Don't be shy, baby. Don't you be shy now.
Hey, when I looked up the linebackers, not on your list, but when I looked up the depth chart from a different site, it had Ibukam as a linebacker, not an end.
Because he played outside linebacker. He's gonna play defensive end here.
Or he could play outside. He could play one of these Mike. He could play the Will or the Sam. He could play one of them joints.
I don't think that's what they brought him in here for, though.
I'm just saying he could play it.
Okay, well, I have him in the defensive end group, so we kind of need to know what we want to do that, GM.
I would keep him in the defensive end group because he was listed as a linebacker as with the Rams who play front. So I think he's going to make the full transition to a hand in the dirt down defensive end 4-3 and be used that way.
Whatever, y'all. No, all right. Dang, I ain't got no other grade in this joint. All right, Al-Shaair, rotational. Flanagan Falls, rotational. Jerry, rotational. Greenlaw, starter. Griffith, rotational. Warner, all pro.
Wait, do that. You got do that again. Just give me that one more time. You said rotational. You have 3 rotationals in the beginning.
Yep, 3 rotationals in the beginning. Greenlaw. You know what? Greenlaw Pro Bowl.
Ooh, okay.
Griffith rotational. Warner all pro.
All pro Fred, baby. All right, we got to see if the GM disagrees with anything. You ran them off quick, which is cool, but you caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, he really going. He really going.
Would you give Al-Shaair, Breeze?
I gave him a rotational, man.
He did.
I think we could bump him to a starter.
I disagree, but okay.
Well,
I don't think he's ready to start. I think we can find talent in the draft that you would like. That would give him a good run for his money. Then you can see if he's ready to start.
You're talking about just you're raking him lower to bring in a competition to get the best out of him.
I'm not ranking him lower to bring in competition to get the best out of him. I like the way you use that. I'm ranking him lower because I don't see him as a strong starter. Can he start? Yes. Would there be a better option in the draft? I think there's some better options in the draft.
And this goes back to what we were talking about.
Maybe a better option on the team. We don't know yet.
Right.
There's definitely not a better option on the team, but I definitely think there's a better option in the draft.
But this goes back to what we were saying with Sanu. Like, we had the 2 starters at wide receiver, and you were like, well, somebody's got to start. But no, that's not how you grade these guys.
Well, yeah, I think you told me what to do.
You see them as not what they're going to have to play by default. You know, like by default, Dante Johnson's a starter right now.
You just had to put Dante Johnson in there.
I'm just saying, like, he finished the season as a starter, not Mosley. You know what I'm saying? But
Mike, you got a contribution. Why don't you read your contribution, Mike?
Mike, when are you going to start uploading more content on your OnlyFans? I didn't know I had any more subscribers, so I stopped. I wasn't going to keep just doing it just to do it. My wife just booed me. But if I go over there and I see that I have subscribers, I'll definitely put some information out there. I did not know. I ain't looking up at that, man. I was not seeing it. Take that off. Where's that comment? Thanks for the contribution, Mark. All right, but you guys got to let me know what's going on.
I'm good with it. I like the idea of bringing somebody in to try to see what they can get out of them.
Oh my God! I convinced the GM. I'm going to heaven. Let's go.
That's what it's about, though. You got to talk to him. So that's what it's about. All right. So that gives the linebackers 1, 2, 3. That's 12, and then the 8 is 20, 30. That's 37 in total. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, man. All right, here we go. We over 5. We got over 5.
Is that the highest grade?
6.16. It is the highest grade, man. Look at man. Fred Warner did some damage, didn't he?
Yeah, all
Fred
pro.
Warner did some work.
Once you go all
So you
pro,
got you have an all pro
and a Pro Bowler.
and a starter.
He agreed with the Pro Bowler though. That kind of blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Greenlaw.
Oh snap!
And I do think he's Warner's an all pro. I
Wait,
think
so
Greenlaw's
who was your starter?
a really good linebacker.
You had a starter in there too, right? I got 4, 4, 4, 8, 7, 10.
No, the starter was I tried to see if we can get Al Shahir as labeled as a starter.
So do your math over, bro. Let's go, Mets!
You have your first 3 as rotational.
Go PDP. Sorry.
Then you have a Pro Bowler. Then you have a starter, and then you have all pro.
I don't have any starters.
He changed Zaire.
Who is between? No. That's not what I changed. Who'd you have between Fred Warner and Greenlaw, or Greenlaw and Fred Warner?
I had Greenlaw as a starter, and I changed him to a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. So you had all pro in Fred.
Should be no starter.
Bowler, and then he had Al Shahir, Flanagan Fall, Jerry, and Griffith as rotational backups, special teams.
It's 6 linebackers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me your grade one more time. Let me make sure I got this right.
Okay. Al Shire, rotational. Flanagan Foles, rotational. Nathan Jerry, rotational. Greenlaw, Pro Bowl. Griffith, rotational. Warner, all pro.
Okay. That's where I fucked up. Damn, I got hype. I'm about to say 6.1. That's the best group we had. Okay.
It's still going to be the highest number. I agree. DJ Quick is an underrated producer, yo. And his beats be crispy too.
5.6. All right, 34. 5.6. Okay. All right. What position group we doing next?
What was the total group?
5.6. 5.6, which will give them they're tied for second highest. Guards got the second highest grade, also 5.6.
Center guards. Okay. We'll go D line. We'll do defensive tackles first.
That's you, right. Mike.
Tackles is me. Oh, y'all. Now this is where we're gonna argue. I just know we're gonna argue on this one. All right. My problem is that never mind. You'll see. All right. I got Eric Armstead, Pro Bowler.
Ain't nobody arguing with you. Keep going.
Yep.
We'll see. Hold on now.
Maybe out there in the chat they argue. We ain't argue.
Coatney is mine. I'm going to do rotational.
Did my batteries die? You motherfucker.
I have Daniels, rotational. I have Givens, starter. I have.
Oh yeah, we about to argue.
Hall's it. Is Hall an in? Hall is an in player, right?
Hall's a defensive end.
Yeah, he's an in. All right, I got DJ Jones. I got DJ Jones as a starter. Let me see who else I got. Jones, Givens. Oh, I got to get the Kinlaw.
You got Kinlaw, Street, Kerr.
All right,
Coatney.
Street. I got rotational. I got Kinlaw, rotational. Yeah, I know we're gonna argue. Shut up. All right, is that it?
You got Kevin Givens a starter over Kinlaw?
Yes, I'm looking at their skill set. Kinlaw is gonna get the start because of where he was drafted. Hey, look, this is what we're gonna. I told y'all we're gonna argue. All right, is that everybody? Really quick, let me count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many DTs you got on the list, Wayne?
I don't know. I ain't paying you no attention.
Well, it's going to be off because the list I sent him because Armstead plays both. I have him listed as a defensive end on that roster.
You forgot Kerr.
Kerr, I did see Kerr on here.
So where do you want me to put Armstead, as an end or a tackle?
I'm putting him as a tackle because if we have both edge
GM,
guys,
where do you want him, GM?
In the base, he's an end.
So all right? So we're taking Armstead off of this then.
I would keep Armstead as the end because then you have. Here's the issue: you have Armstead as a Pro Bowler. You have Givens as a starter. You have Jones as a starter. What was Kinlaw?
I had him rotational.
All right, so you have Kinlaw as a rotation.
He's going to be a starter in the system. We all know that, but I'm just telling you how I'm grading him right now. Not that I think we're going to get anything better.
Well, I think you will get. Well, I mean, I think you're going to see a better production of him because you're going to have a better defensive line this year.
Exactly. So I think you would. In my opinion, I would kick up Kinlaw one more notch.
Okay.
I would kick.
Thanks, Callie.
You got Kerr, Jones, Givens, Daniels, Coatney. Oh no, we're not doing Armstead.
The thing with Givens is the issue that he had in Baltimore. If he's found guilty and charged criminally, like I don't know if he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know about that. But his skill set is good. It is a starter quality skill set.
Wow, I thought I was going to get some pushback on that. Okay.
No, I think he's a very talented player, but the problem is he's more of a 3-tech. His skill set fits this defense perfectly because of his get off, number one, and number two, it's a single gap penetrator. So that's his strength. That's what he did at Penn State. That's what he's done here.
So he doesn't start because where we drafted Kinlaw?
Me personally, I just think Kinlaw and DJ, Kinlaw, Kerr, Kinlaw, and Givens, like I just think the interior is a very strong position. And plus now you're adding Kerr into this, who's coming off his best season, who is explosive and will fit this system to the T.
I need a total on how many defensive tackles we have. Just so
I didn't answer you.
I'm sorry. Right now. You got Kobe is 1, Darian Daniels is 2, Givens is 3, DJ Jones is 4, Kerr is 5, Kinlaw is 6, Street is 7, and that's it. That's
Coatney. Who's Coatney?
Josiah Coatney. They signed him.
Did you mention him?
Yeah, I gave him a grade.
We took Armstead off.
Yeah, we took off
Armstead. Kerr.
All right. So I got my numbers here. So we agreed just 3 starters and 4 rotational guys. Right?
You have Givens as a starter, DJ as a starter. Who was the third one?
Kinlaw?
No, he didn't have Kinlaw as a starter. But Tony made him a starter.
I'm going to bump Kinlaw to a starter.
Right. That was the third one. That was the one you made me bump up.
I'm kind of on the border right now with Kerr. I kind of he is definitely the backup and rotational, but
so is Givens. But I gave Givens a starter grade. When you look at the talent, like could he be a starter on another team? That's what it is.
Yeah, but here's the problem. If DJ slips up a bit, I think you're going to see Kerr because of his size and his skill set. Kerr is like Kerr and DJ Jones are the same type of players. They're both explosive. They're both fire hydrants. They're both low to the ground. They're run stuffers. But in the same end, they're explosive and they're gap penetrators. I just think those two would have a slight advantage at the 1 or the 0 technique because of the weight and their strength compared to Givens being more of a penetrator. Like him versus the run, I'm not too sure about if he compares to them. But as far as pass rushers and explosiveness off the line and shooting the gaps, I think the 3 of them are kind of on an even playing field. So
it's your call.
The thing that's holding me is the legal issue with Givens. Because he could be a starter, he could be an all-pro. If he's not on this team, it doesn't mean nothing.
Right. The team hasn't cut him yet. That's the only reason I had to count him. So I had to count his talent. Now we can change his grade if that'll make you feel better. If we swap him for a 4 and then give Kerr the 7, it's still the same number. You want to just do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we still have 3 7.
This is based off of the uncertainty from the incident.
Yeah. And if he gets cleared, then it's a bonus. It's cool.
Yes. So now you'll have what?
We have 3 7s and 4 4s.
You will go to 4 7s.
No.
It's cleared.
Because we're dropping Givens down to a 4.
Exactly. If he gets cleared and he remains on the roster, he will go to a 7.
I'm talking about now for the average.
No, I know, but I'm just saying once this goes by in the season, you'll have 4 quality starters. You said it was a bonus. Yes, it would be a bonus because it will
Right.
upgrade the score of the position once this is solidified.
Right. So, all right. So they have 5.2 for the defensive tackle group.
5.2 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't feel right because, like you said, you feel like going into the season, this is a strong position group, right?
It's a very strong position group.
The grades don't feel. I didn't give out any Pro Bowls because we took away Armstead. I didn't give out any Pro Bowls. I didn't give out any All Pros. So it's just starters and rotational guys there. All right. What are we doing next? Defensive ends?
Yeah.
That's it. It's me.
Now this group is going to go crazy because you got Armstead in there.
Yep.
Right. So I'll start at the bottom. We've got medical for Ford, so he's a rotational. Blair, if he gets signed,
That's a crazy ass rotational. I get you, but that's a crazy ass rotational. All right, go ahead.
Right. What do we want to count Blair since he's not officially signed yet?
You can't count Blair. You can no, because he's not on the team.
We can't if he's legally not on legit.
Then D-Hole is rotational. Calfusi, rotational. Barrett, rotational. And then Willis, I'm on the borderline of making him rotational / starter. Ibukam, starter. Armstead, Pro Bowl. Bosa, All Pro.
I need a grade for the other guy. You could talk to the GM about it if you want, but we got to.
Willis is where I'm hung up. I have him like at a high rotational / low starter. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think he's going to be a rotational because the minute they add somebody in the draft, it could potentially change everything. So I would keep him as a rotational.
Okay.
Right now. But,
all right. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players. Is that correct?
9 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You're counting. What's the name? He's not on the roster yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Remove him.
Right. I just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yes.
I want to make sure we're consistent. Okay. All right. So now any disagreements from the grades that he gave out?
No. I think if Bosa comes back, which he looks like he's almost just about 100%, I think you'll see Armstead's play elevate again to what he was when Bosa was on the field. If we can get Ford back and he's healthy or somewhat healthy just to be a third down rusher,
it's a hell of a boost.
Hell of a boost.
Oh my God.
So I mean, I'm pretty good with Armstead as the Pro Bowl. I think Bosa will be an All Pro. I agree with you there. But
don't you just find
position group, Wayne?
Don't you just find it amazing how, like, the 49ers get Bosa back? He's like the anchor of that defense, the defensive line. He makes other players better on that defensive line. Not just that he makes like a guy better, but he takes up, more people so guys can get certain matchups and you can really kind of see Armstead. And then on the offensive side, I really believe the Alex Mack addition is going to make Mike McGlinchey just be a better player overall, even though he's working on to become better.
It also throws Brunskill back into a position that he's more appropriate for versus playing.
Right.
So that'll help Mike on the outside as well.
And so it makes the line better. And now you can just rotate that tight end on to the right side. It should never be a tight end on the left side.
Because if Brunskill gets back to where he supposed to be,
he was Pro Bowl.
He should have a starter grade or Pro Bowl grade.
Pro Bowl grade, right? He
should be bumped up significantly.
Yeah.
Just put it like this: he's the only one that can single-handedly control, not totally shut out, but try to control Aaron Donald.
But we had a rotational grade on the guy
because we don't know where he's going to be.
Why don't we? We know where Mac is. He's not going to be center now.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. I didn't do offensive.
Definitely not going to be center.
Oh, yes,
I'm just saying, but that's why we have these conversations to get the juices going. Like we solidified one position. That's going to help.
What if he took a step back though because he got too many positions in his head?
That's what the offseason's for.
Well, I think that moving him back to right guard will take a lot off of his shoulders. Because he won't have to think about all the stuff that the center has to think about and calling out plays and formations and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So his job should get easier. That's why I gave him the starter grade.
Yep. All right. So for the final defensive ends, We have a 5.6. This conversation that we're having now, are we going back and changing anything for the offensive interior? Because you didn't give him a starter grade, did you? You didn't give Brunskill a starter grade.
I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. So that was your 2 7s. Him and Tomlinson.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And everybody else is rotational.
Yeah. I put Mac as all pro,
No.
but GM said Pro
Yeah, he
Bowl
talked it
instead, so
down
we
to
dropped
he
him
talked
down.
it down to 8. Yeah. Okay. All right. That leaves us with just the special teams players, and I have those guys. I'm gonna do all 3 of them. I'm gonna do kicker, punter, long snapper. I'm gonna do we have a Pro Bowl kicker, we have a starter at snapper, and a starter at punter.
That's fair.
All right. So if we want to do a total, we don't want to do a total for that position group because they're individual players.
Yeah.
Right. So we just leave those.
Mike, what was the total for defensive ends?
Defensive ends gave us a total of 45 total points for 5.6 average. And that was not counting Ronald Blair, who could be coming back, and that boosts that group tremendously.
Low balling D Ford.
And low balling D Ford.
Right.
Like that group is better than it looks on paper. If everything falls away.
I honestly think our defensive line is the strongest point of this team. Hands down.
And you're looking at it, you got a 5.5, I mean a 5.6 and a 5.2. All right. So, all right, we're at an hour. We're going to try to wrap this thing up very soon here. Okay. So, this was all out of 10. All right. Quarterbacks out of 4.75. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you guys the lowest grades. Okay. So, you ready for this?
Yep.
Lowest grade was wide receiver at 4.5. Quarterback was the second lowest at a 4.75. That's a problem because the quarterback is the most important position on the team. So that position itself holds so much value. And it's the second lowest grade on the team. And that was, by the way, with giving Jimmy Garoppolo a starting grade. That was not calling him rotational, not calling him gone, or giving him a low grade because we think he's gone. That was with giving him a starting grade.
Well, until he's gone, we can't
Right.
do anything.
So after that, 4.75, we had a 5.1, and that was at cornerback. Okay. Actually, you know what? We have another lowest grade. I forgot about this one. The safeties were 4.7. So they're actually a little bit worse than the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks were 4.75. The safeties were 4.7.
It's wide receiver corner, wide receiver safety, or wide receiver quarterback?
Wide receiver, safety, quarterback. All right. So that's accounted for. That's accounted for.
And then cornerback goes to 4, correct?
That's accounted for. Oh, I'll give you a full rundown. Give me 1 second. All right. And then linebackers was 5.6. Accounted for. Defensive tackles was 5.2. Accounted for. We have defensive ends 5.6. Accounted for. Offensive guards or interior line was 5.6. Accounted for. Offensive tackles is 5.5. Accounted for. Where'd it go? Offensive tackle right here. Boom. Tight ends were 5.5. Accounted for. Fullbacks were 6. Accounted for. Running backs were 5.5. Accounted for. Okay. Done. Done, 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 done. All right, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 groups plus the kicker, punter, special teams. All right, so we're not going to include them in this because that's cool. That's okay to do, right? Or are we going to include kickers because we might draft a kicker? But
No.
all right, so of all the positions, the lowest grade was definitely wide receiver. Okay, the next lowest was safety. Third lowest was quarterback, 4.75, and then corner at 5.1. And then we had a 5.2 at defensive tackle. That's 5. And then we have a three-way tie at 5.5. That is offensive tackle. That is tight end. That is running back. All right. I'm going to come back to those ties in a second. All right. That's 5.5. We had a 5.6, which is defensive end. We had another 5.6, which was offensive guard. And we had another 5.6, which was linebacker. Okay. And then we have our highest grade of the night, our fullback group with a 6. Now, we have to talk about positional value in the draft now. And that's how you settle a lot of these tiebreakers or whatever, right? So
that's how you flip this list.
Exactly. So
Right.
now everything we did doesn't count for much. We're just getting started. We told you guys it's going to be a long, drawn out process. This is what goes into putting one of these things together. All right. It's a long, very carefully thought out process here. 4.75 for the quarterback. Does that mean that is the biggest need on this team?
Yes.
Third lowest. All right. So QB is the number one need. All right. Looking at the other lowest scores, we have safety. We have. Damn, where did my 3 go? 1, 2. Oh, quarterback was 3. That's why.
Tatum, first shot.
Cornerbacks are pretty important. Right. So here's our top 5 based off of just the score: wide receiver, safety, quarterback, cornerback, and then defensive tackle. Which one of those is the next most important group?
Corner.
I think it's going to be a tie between wide receiver and corner because it's going to be depending on a run on a position.
Right.
There's a run on corners it would jump the corners up. If there's a run on wide receiver, it jumps the wide receivers up.
I agree because the wide receivers were so weak.
But I feel like you got something to say about with the wide receivers. We know that we got 2 for sure starters as long as they're healthy. Whereas we don't necessarily say that with the cornerbacks. Like you can say Mosley's a starter, but he's not on the same level as Verrett. You know what I'm saying? But I think Brandon Ayuk and Samuel are similar as far as what you're looking for.
The issue is number one, like I just said, if there's a run, and number 2, if Debo's not ready, who's playing wide receiver? Opposite of Ayuk, because your next guy in line, Jalen Hurd, coming off an injury.
Your next guy in line is Sanu. I mean Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, well, I'm just going in line on the paper here that I have the names. So you have it's Ayuk, then you would have Debo, then you would have Sanu. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and 3. So now, if God forbid Debo's foot isn't ready because he did have another procedure on it, that moves Sanu up into the second spot. Now you're depending on Jalen Hurd, Richie James, Austin Prohl, Sherfield, White, and Jennings. That and Travis Benjamin. And that's
that position group still sounds stronger than the cornerbacks, though, is what all I was saying. Like when you look at everybody who's in there.
So you feel the cornerback is more important. If there's
wait. I gotta argue here. Hold on. Let me get in this too. Because the corners are right now, how many people are coming back from last year that were serious contributors in each group, right? So Mosley started, but then he was later on he was just a rotational guy, like a special teamer, right? Ha! That's why I called the position group that. He was literally just rotational or special teamer. Okay, see, now y'all get it, jerks. All right, but you have Brett, you have Johnson, who were both playing the starting positions, right? K1, because Johnson was the starting nickel at the end of the season. I'm sorry. K1 is back now, so does that put Johnson back at a starting
Yeah, I
position?
still think that whoever the other outside opposite Verrett, that hole needs to get filled. We have guys who can step in, but I think that we have to fill that spot.
But you're gonna fill the spot with not a sure first round starter, because who you gonna draft at 43? You're not drafting or trade back into, like, you know.
Well, there's a couple of guys there.
I think mostly
anybody else we have on the roster.
I think mostly is going to be the starter. I think mostly is going to be the starter. He's proved he can start for this team when healthy, and I think mostly is going to be the starter. Yes, you still draft a cornerback, but I think mostly you can say that he's going to be your starter. I don't know what the GM thinks, but I do. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, right now, obviously, he is the starter. He's penciled as a starter because the top two corners are Verrett and Mosley right now on your outsides. But the thing is, we really have to sit and analyze what's deeper, corner or wide receiver. Because if there's a run on a corner, you're going to have to take a corner at 43. But if the corners aren't going and the wide receivers are going, you might have to take a wide receiver at 43. So
I think in this draft, the wide receiver class is deeper. Because if we're looking for, let's say we're looking for a slot guy, just you could get a guy that can come in and play in the slot deeper in the draft than you can get your corners. And so I do agree with drafting a corner with that second pick, but I think it also depends who's there. Like, because if you can get the best slot guy at 43, like a Rondale Moore or an Elijah Moore, opposed to drafting a Shi Smith later on down the draft, or a Frank Darby, one of those guys that also play well in the slot, or the kid out of North Texas that I like as well. I think you go get your corner, like, right? Because those guys will be available a little bit later in the draft.
I think that you're absolutely spot on with saying that both the wide receiver and the cornerback position are very deep in this draft, right? But I think your caliber drops off significantly for your cornerbacks than it does for your wide receivers. They have different trail off into the further rounds in the draft. So I think if you want to get the best bang for your buck, then I think you need to prioritize cornerback in this draft specifically over a wide receiver, because you can still get that wide receiver talent, like what Wayne's saying, especially in the slot later in the draft, than what you can pick up as far as cornerbacks later in the draft.
And to go along with what you're saying, if we picked up another 4 at each position, which one is going to succeed more if they have to play? The corner or the receiver in Shanahan's system?
The corner. I mean the receiver.
So doesn't that mean that the corner is more important to get?
No, I guess it depends, because I feel like you can get a 4 in round 6 as a wide receiver, but you're not going to get a 4 as a cornerback.
No, I'm just saying that if you take 2 of the same ilk and you have to put one in, which one are you less worried about being successful? Because we're drafting for this team. We're not drafting for an overall grade on an individual player. We're drafting for this team, right?
No,
and so if we get a bad corner and a bad wide receiver, which one can produce better? Which one cannot cost you the game? Like, which I don't. That's my opinion. That's how I look at it.
I understand what you're saying, but it would be easier for a rookie wide receiver to be successful with Kyle than it would for a corner to be successful at the NFL taking the next step.
Which is why I'm siding with Brian and saying I think
corner kicker. When was the last time this team invested heavily in the corner spot? They don't value corners as much. Like your biggest free agent was Richard Sherman at the latter part of his career. They drafted Ahkello Witherspoon in the late third. He's not here. So if you look at your roster right now at the corner position,
yeah, you're getting somewhere.
You have literally former practice squad, CFL, practice squad.
We got a first rounder on here, though. Come on now.
Hold on. I'm going down the list.
Oh, okay.
You have Adonis Alexander. You have Calhoun. You have Fields, who is another practice squad. Tim Harris, who was drafted in the 6th round. Dante Johnson, who was drafted in the 4th or 5th round.
I think it was like
you have Mosley, undrafted free agent. Jason Brett, former first-round pick, but was taken off the scrap heap because he was unhealthy and the team took a shot on him. Ken Webster, undrafted free agent. K'Wan Williams, Shark, undrafted free agent, but signed as a free agent to a low deal. So this team shows you that they value more of the front that's going to make the back look better. So to say if there's not a run on corners and there's a run on wide receivers, I think they go wide receiver here to give the rookie a security blanket to work the middle of the field and a slot guy. Do I think Sanu could do it? I do. But would you want a Sanu or would you want
someone fresh, man? Someone with quick feet.
You want a quick guy that could go in and out of his breaks. I'll give you a couple guys.
No. We don't have to talk prospects yet. You don't have to do that. I get what you're saying. There, you get somebody that you're going to have for the next 4 years. You know, somebody that's homegrown
to work with the quarterback that you're about to have for the next 10 years. A little bit
of more of a home run hitter than a chain mover, because that's what Sanu is at this point of his career.
Right,
he's a chain mover. Where I think we could all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
And he's now outrunning defenses to get touchdowns off.
He's going to be that guy that's going to work the middle of the field, find the opening, sit, and let the quarterback make.
He's going to do what Kendrick Bourne did last year. Now, let me ask you this question, right? And so I agree with Tony on that for the simple fact that we have a guy like Mosley, and so I believe if we didn't have a Mosley, I think we definitely will be looking for that cornerback or trying to trade it up to get a better prospect at that cornerback position. But because we have Mosley, and I think he will be the starter penciled in, like you guys said, I think this is why you go wide receiver. You get a guy that's going to be that security blanket for your quarterback in your offense. You put up a lot of points. That's what you got to try to do. I think it's time that we see Kyle Shanahan put some damn points on the board. Like I'm talking 30 plus points.
Keep what we got and just go get Pitts then.
Yeah, but then if your quarterback get hurt, then we hit.
Because like another thing, I know it doesn't mean much, but look at the players that they're bringing in. St. Juice, the kid that's projected to go 4, 5, maybe a low 3. They're bringing that mid-tier of corners. I mean, granted, they could be talking to – there could be a potential due to his medical where Caleb Fairley, whatever his name is, drops.
Right.
If he's sitting there at 43, you better have your I's dotted and your T's crossed and make sure his medicals are good, because that's a potential guy that you could take at that spot because of the value of him being such a high prospect. But the medical kicked him down. But like there's guys like a Samuel I like. There's guys like Stokes who's a speed demon but is not as rounded off as a corner. He's got little flaws. And you got a guy like Campbell, who I really like Campbell. I just think everyone overlooks that he only had 1 interception, and I think people didn't go at him. But I mean, there's a lot of talent at quarterback in this draft. You got the kid Taylor from Washington. Yep. These are all guys that could be had late 3, 4. So it all depends. If there's a strong run on corner, the Niners could take a corner at 43. If there's not, listen, they have a ton of picks sitting at the bottom of this draft. If there's a guy falling into the like mid-3rd round that they're really high on, they can move up. They give their 4 and they give 1 of the 3 5s that they have sitting there, and they go get their guy. Because remember, it's going to come down to a point of this draft where the need goes bye-bye and it becomes best player available because of the success that we had in free agency. That's also not being discussed. So,
I mean, I know that we did this exercise and we came out with these grades, but I would still argue that getting someone behind, investing in someone to sit behind Alex Smith for this first year could be potentially pivotal, because he may only be here for a year. So I love the thought process of getting like a Creed Humphrey.
He meant Mac. I got it now.
What did I say?
Alex Smith.
You said Alex Smith, and I was thinking
Alex Mack. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got
I'm
you.
thinking about not just this upcoming season. I'm thinking about progression past that. If Alex Smith, Alex
You're
Mack
thinking of
only
getting a guy
plays
like
1
Creed
year,
Humphrey.
we want to get somebody to sit behind him so we don't have to have Brunskill slide back into the center spot. We need to solidify that spot, especially with the thought process that Richburg may be retiring. That tells, and we don't know what to get from Brindle because we didn't even see him because he was on COVID last year. So to me, I would have an argument to say that center should be the 43rd pick.
Another scenario is if there's a ton of talent still on that board, they take 43 and they move back and they pick up a couple more picks.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay, and now you drop down 5-6 picks, you pick up another third and a fifth or another third and sixth, and guess what? You could then take the BPA there.
Moving doesn't change the team's needs.
Right.
So they still put together a chart based off their needs, but that's a fluid thing based off of who's available and where the run is. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we still have to finish the exercise.
Of course.
That's why it's not worth talking about the prospects and all that stuff right now, because we're still in the beginning stages of this. We're going to get to the prospects, but we have to see what the team's biggest holes are and the biggest needs are.
Of course. I think we all agree it's quarterback number one. And I think pending the run, it's wide receiver, quarterback is one.
Well, we can put a slash there. We can do that.
I think it's 2A and 2B with a wide receiver and corner.
Does anybody disagree with that? I think that's what we've been arguing the whole time.
So that's where I said that's where I think I disagree, because I think that filling in that guard/center spot that's in flux, we don't really have a solidified backup, because we don't we brought in McKivitz to be maybe that guard tackle swing utility person, and we expected him that he may be getting into a starting spot, but obviously last season didn't work out that way. He was never able to take a starting role, and I think that while we have Alex Mack now, I want to think about how this team progresses forward and look at the candidate. We only have a second-round pick next year, the second and then fourth, so on and so forth. But we don't have necessarily, if something happens to Mack, we don't. I mean, you're going back to Brunskill.
But offensive linemen don't usually go a lot.
That depends on their caliber of player, Mike. I mean, you've seen offensive linemen go in the first round. I'm talking about.
It's like one or two is what I'm saying. But if it's not a top need for your team, you're not looking at offensive line.
And I think it might be a top need for this team.
It's not more of a need than wide receiver or corner based off of how they go in the draft.
I think I understand what you're talking about as far as how they go in the draft, but I'm talking about the team's needs. I think that a backup center, somebody who can play that position well.
A backup center is not more important than a starting corner.
I got you there, but I don't think that we need a number 3 wide receiver over your backup center. We saw what happens when our center is not working right.
This is the problem. He's not just solidified as a number 3. There's question with Debo. Like, this kid could be bumped up like this if Debo's foot don't respond.
That's hard. May come in and
I'm arguing against the center, the center need. That's what I'm arguing against. I'm arguing against that. Alex Mack has been the picture of health. He's coming in here to be.
I'm saying we need to have somebody ready to take over his position come next offseason.
So why can't we look for that till next year?
Because we don't have necessarily the draft capital to do that now.
We could draft. You could draft the center next year in the second round.
Draft the center this year and still groom him. You don't have to get a center.
No, I like Creed Humphrey. I think it'd be a great fit in there. But you could go get Morrissey later. You can get, Trey Hill or whomever you want. So yes, you could absolutely get somebody else. I'm just thinking, if you think that Alex Mack is the type of player that you need to have to run the offensive line in Kyle's system, then having a replacement for him on this team is a huge need.
What round was Alex Mack drafted in?
I couldn't tell you.
I'll tell you right now.
First. He was very highly talented out of California. He went
to the Browns, right? That's where he started? Yep. He's a 21st overall pick in the 2009 draft.
Mm-hmm.
See, I honestly think Creed Murphy is an excellent center. I agree with you 100%. But I also think at that pick, I think they really want to get somebody that can contribute. If Alex Mack goes down, then Creed Humphrey would be a contributing rookie for the second round pick. I just think there's players that you can get 3, 4, 5, like Stanford's Chris Dahlman, Drew Dahlman. You got the Moret from Penn State. You got Morrison from Pittsburgh. Drake Johnson from Duke. Even though he's a little undersized, it's a little concerning for me. He's listed as 6'1".
So all I'm saying is, like, we took an O-line that we had last year, and now we're all like, woohoo, the O-line is great because we added Mac and we were able to push Brunskill back to where he belongs. If something happens to Mac or beyond this season, you're looking at Brunskill taking back over that center position and then doing the same thing we did the entire last season.
Or they re-sign Ben Garland, guys. Like I just feel like
that's a scenario. I think that's
he's on my list, but you know.
Yeah, I mean he'll probably be re-signed after the draft, and he'll get his 1-2 year contract or whatever, and you'll have a backup center. But you could say that for any position, Brian. You can say that.
Down, right?
I'm just saying, like, we have wide receivers that can do the job on this team. We have cornerbacks that need to be backfilled. So I think that's a priority over wide receivers.
There's going to be high priority.
O-line is priority one.
But there's going to be the O-line is fixed, and you're talking about replenishing it for years to come.
A 36-year-old center or whatever he is that may only have 1 year left. Maybe he does finish out his 3-year contract. Who knows? You should be training somebody to take that spot. That's what the draft is for, to replenish the future.
The exercise was to show the strengths and weaknesses of the team, right? And that we can't say that the center is a weakness right now. We can't. If something happens to him, of course. If something happens to anybody, it's a weakness. So the exercise.
I mean, if that's the case, we should just draft the best left tackle that's still on the board, right? He's getting older. Even though he signed for like 10 years. and right now he could play right tackle because we don't know if we're going to have Mike McGlinchey next year. So, I mean, you could draft any position you want, but I think you just got to rock with what you got.
Right. I don't agree with wide receiver, but you guys do what you want to do. I don't care.
So when you sit here and you look at all this the way you do it, you have to find out what the team's most important and valuable needs are. That's the point of coming up with a grading system and rating everything the way that you do, right? And it's a fluid board. There's a reason why these draft boards are done on dry erase boards and with magnets and stuff. It's not in permanent marker. You know what I'm saying? It's not done. You see chalkboards. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason that they do that kind of stuff.
I understand the process, Mike. I've been through this before. Not with you guys, but I've been through this before.
Right. So
my argument is that I'm fearing for the eventuality of this team moving forward, not for just this upcoming
season. But the
season.
team isn't going to draft a center in the second round when they think they have a Pro Bowl or all-pro center right there, right now, that they just signed for multiple years. That's not going to be a top priority for any team in the draft. That's not how they do it. Teams just don't draft.
Right. That's how you see they don't do it. Right. I've seen Tampa Bay take a fucking kicker at 2. I've seen weird shit happen in the draft.
That's what bad teams do. That's what bad teams do. A team that's looking to make a run and a push wants to get players in the building now that can help with the first 3 rounds. That's what they're looking for.
Right. We're going to have to agree to disagree because I'm not going to change my stance no matter what you say about what I think about the center guard position. I think I'm planning for the future.
Name a backup this regime has drafted in the first 3 rounds. Name someone that they brought in here to be a backup in the first 3 rounds.
I'm not talking about the past right now. I'm talking about this.
But we're doing this for the 49ers. We're doing this for the Niners.
I tell you a position that they typically draft at number 2, though. Wide receiver. 2? Yep. I mean, and it would pick 2 in round 2. They usually draft wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they do. They'll probably stick with that trajectory too.
They might. You never know.
It's panned out for them pretty well. I do like Creed Humphrey though. I'm not going to front.
No, Creed Humphrey's a phenomenal talent. I definitely think that. But the problem is, okay, yeah, you could take Creed Humphrey. He's going to sit on the bench, or you could take a wide receiver who could contribute as your 3rd slot guy, and also
now.
What is a very big need that we have? Punt returner, kick returner. You could get a guy that can cover 3 holes rather than just sitting learning or possibly contributing at the right guard spot. I understand where you're going with this. They do need to address, the future behind Mac.
I don't think they have to use the number or the 2nd round pick to address the wide receiver position due to the depth of the wide receiver position in this draft.
Okay.
I don't think that they.
We get it. I said we get it, but the numbers say different. The
I
exercise
understand
is
what
just
the numbers
very
say,
simple.
but you got to look at we got 3 different people grading differently.
And nobody on this panel thinks they should use the second overall pick in this draft or the second pick in this draft on a center, a backup center.
The second round pick,
Yeah,
I would disagree.
I know, and I'm saying no one else does.
That's fine. That's what I said.
that's
You're not
what
going
I'm
to change
saying.
my mind, but that's just the way how it looks. So if
So-
you guys want to go with wide receiver, then pick a fucking wide receiver.
We have quarterback as the top need. We have corner/wide receiver as the second need. What do you guys see as the third need? So we have 1, 2.
I thought
3.
tackle was the third need, right?
Hold on, wait. Let me
Because
see
our
here.
tackles are butt cheeks.
We have wide
According to
receiver.
the numbers, we should be getting a safety at this point.
Or
Right.
safety.
So the safety was the second lowest score. Then there was quarterback, which was the third lowest. The fourth was corner. Right. So now let's see. We got 4.7 is the safety position. 4.7, and then it went to 5.5. And this was a bunch of ties.
See, I
for
don't like
5.5.
any of the safeties after the first round.
I like one safety after the first round. He probably can get late third, late third, fourth.
Who we talk about? The kid from Indiana?
He's your center field safety.
That Minka Fitzpatrick type safety.
That's his role. But you want like a box safety that could drop and still cover.
Yeah.
Diablo from Virginia Tech is your guy.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
How do you feel about the kid
We're not talking about. I don't want to talk about prospects because I just want to try to rank this, and we'll go into that in another show.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I've
tired,
been trying to say. This is not the end all be all show, guys.
Well, it is to some extent because you're setting up the board for what we're going to do moving forward.
As a position coach, Brian would be talked to by the GM.
Well, fucking bring it. And then he can fire me too.
Thanks for the contribution, Mike. Thanks for the contribution, man. All right, so we got to get a third position here. Is that one? Are we gonna rock with safety?
No,
safety?
If you're doing 2A, 2B, whatever's not filled on 2A, 2B would be 3.
All right, I see what you're saying. So I'm gonna write it backwards then. Wide receiver / cornerback, but whichever way it goes. All right, I feel you there. All right, so then we go safety.
It should be safety according to the numbers.
But it's not just the numbers because it's about position. What the position gives you, right? So quarterback wasn't the lowest number, but it was the third lowest number next to wide receiver and safety. And we agree that the quarterback position value holds more than those other two positions. So that's why it became the biggest need. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we're looking at safety next. And we already got corner, safety, defensive tackle. Yeah, safety, defensive tackle, and then we have offensive tackle. How?
I still think your O-line depth needs to be addressed before you move on to anything else after that. Your interior O-line needs to be addressed.
That was one of the highest scoring ones, wasn't? Oh no, it was a bunch of ties. That's why it looks like that.
Yeah, you had a two-way, three-way.
Yeah.
Basically, you got 3 teams with a 5.5 and 3 more teams. So you have 6 teams with a 5.5 or a 5.6. That's pretty close. I mean,
Right.
For all those positions. You know we don't need a fullback, so you can cross that off the list.
Right.
Tight ends is going to be like maybe somebody in the 7th round or 6th round. You know.
Yeah, no, you're not looking to draft a fullback. Like I agree with that. Like that's not something that you're going to be looking at. That's why we didn't do punters and kickers and you know what I'm saying? Long snappers. So what position do you guys have that's coming up next, guys? We all got the same information here.
I would
What's more important in the game, a defensive tackle? Because that's going to be rotation. We've invested heavily in defensive tackle, right? So anybody that we pick up there, it's not likely to be a starter, right? Is it possible we're drafting a starting safety, or is that a rotational piece? So we're at 1, 2. We're about to make our 4th pick. That's how we're putting this thing together right here. Our 4th pick. Are we back in the depth situation now? Everything is depth.
I think now you go into BPA.
BPA.
This is where you hit the BPA section. This is where you can grab a center, a Dahlman. If one of those guys are lurking there, you could grab another edge piece. I personally, I would grab an edge before a defensive tackle for the purpose of when they go nickel and dime, Eric goes inside, and then you want your speed guys off the edge. So I would have another edge piece because we're still in question. Like if D Ford was healthy, the score for edge, the defensive ends would be through the roof.
Yeah, it's off the charts.
We're uncertain with D Ford, so I would add another piece just in case D Ford decides to hang him up. Not saying he is, but if he decides not to play this year or sits out another year, I just think adding another speed piece off the edge won't hurt at this point in the draft.
Now, if you're getting somebody that far down, is that not Equibom?
It is Equibom, but if you want to, I see it as, yes, Nick Bosa can handle the load, but I also thought they want to prolong Nick Bosa's career and not kill him. So, listen, your best defensive line is the deepest defensive line. You're going to see a lot more rotation this year because now they're starting to get the pieces to do that. So
you think defensive tackle weighs more than safety?
No, I think safety is definitely going to be a need. I do. Because, again, we brought Tart back. I'm very happy about it. They're tight as glue between him and Ward. But, again, why didn't Tart get paid on get a big deal on the market? Because his durability is in question. If Tart goes down, you're back to the Harris spot. You're back to Travius Moore. So that's why safety could be higher. I would flip defensive end and defensive tackle. But in between there, if it's a BPA category, the center position would be potential spot in the 4-5 range in there.
All right. So let's debunk a couple of things really quick. So we're going to keep this moving, right?
Yeah.
And Brian was right. We have a lot of 5.5 and 5.6, right? But here, let's look at this. The 5.5 running back isn't going to matter. That's one of the 5.5s, right?
And they're an undrafted free agent with running backs. They're their theory.
So that's that. Now, tight ends. That's a 5.5. Maybe because you want someone opposite of Kittle that you can count on. Maybe, but not really, right? They're probably going to be using a lot of 2 or 3 wide receiver sets if they're getting another wide receiver with the second pick.
I can also see them bringing Reed back after the draft too. So
right,
another situation, or they add.
Yeah.
Listen, where did Dwelly come from? An undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
See them go that route there.
They've done it multiple times. Cole Hicatini, like that's what they do.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna move on from tight end. I'm putting like a line through them, but that's not going to be the pecking order here, right? Yeah. Another 5.5 was offensive tackle. You got Mike McGlinchey for another year. If you decide not to pick up his 5th-year option, you have Trent Williams. You just locked up for, like Breezy said, another 30 years. Mm-hmm. So how much? It's an important position.
Yes.
Right? It is an important position. What are you doing?
You're asking from us what we would do?
No, because I'm doing this based off of the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers here.
So basically, there are some tackles. One of them I like from Iowa, Alric Jackson, played guard tackle, 4-year starter. Iowa puts out phenomenal linemen for some reason. That's a guy you can get in that range, 4, 5, 6. That's a potential spot there. So again, it's going to be pending the run on a position. Tackle could be could be the next need. We don't know.
So that actually makes this list that much more clear because the 5.6, the 5.5, well, which position are they making a run on? All right, that position takes precedent. That's
where it comes into BPA.
Right, which is going to be BPA. All right, so then we'll put the rest of this list in order based off of the numbers and it being fluid, right?
Yeah.
Because the offensive line is the next group. We crossed off running back as a 5.5. We crossed off tight ends as a 5.5. You got offensive tackles as a 5.5, and you have offensive guards or interior offensive line as a 5.6. And then comes your run on 5.6s. So it's the same thing. It's going to come down to what's happening on the board and how it works.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
All right. Oof. All right.
Oh, you guys have a contribution by my man Callie, Tony, and Mike.
Mike and Tony, would you guys be opposed to selecting a wide receiver, pick 43? Did he miss the last 20 minutes? Is this for real?
Callie, they're all good with taking a wide receiver.
Wide receiver, corner, hell yeah. I'm on it.
We can get a wide receiver later.
Thanks for the contribution.
You know what? It's funny you say that. We could get a wide receiver, and it wouldn't shock me if they double back and grab one at the bottom of the draft, 6, 7, because there's so much uncertainty in the position.
They're desperate to get some certainty, like especially with Kendrick Bourne leaving. That you realize that they just lost their most consistent wide receiver.
I tried to.
No one talking about that. They just lost their most consistent. Everybody else has missed games. Everybody else on this roster at the wide receiver position has missed games, except the one guy for the last 3 years. I think Kendrick Bourne missed one game, and it was a fake positive. Then it was a real positive, fake positive, whatever the hell it was. That's the only reason he's ever missed any time for the 49ers. Never a health issue, and he's gone. So yeah, I think that they're looking for some sort of like they're throwing everything at the wall. Like, can we get one of these guys to stick? Like that's what they're doing. So no, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if Tony's opposed to a wide receiver at 43, but no, I'm not. All right, so I think we have our rankings here because everything else is 5.5, 5.6. Linebacker, defensive end. We talked about the defensive tackle at 5.2. We talked about that at 5.2, which I think took a hit because I know you guys said Armstead is a defensive end in base downs, but we don't play in base downs that much. So it's a fluid situation also. That changes the number, and then they end up at a 5.6. You know what I mean? So it's everything is the same, and we're back to BPA. So it seems like identifying those first 3 positions is the toughest job, and we ended up with a slash there. So it could be BPA earlier than we expect. If all the wide receivers are gone, and if there's a run on quarterbacks, wide receivers, and corners, this whole board turns into BPA, which is the position they wanted to put themselves in going into this the way that they operated this offseason. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
As soon as they locked up Juice and Trent Williams, to me it said, oh shit, we don't need this. We don't need that. Here we go. Oh my God, they got Alex Beck the same day. It's BPA time. They put themselves in position to sit back and let the board fall to them. They're still going to say, all right, well, these are the guys these are the positions that we should be looking for, right? But like, let me ask you guys this question. We're sitting at pick. What's our fourth pick? We go from 343,
102,
117,
102,
102, then 117, I think.
117. We're sitting there. Now watch this. The best player on the board is a wide receiver that everybody had a second round grade on. Are they taking, not wide receiver, running back. Are they taking that running back there?
And what did we do with our first 3 picks? Our first 2 picks?
I don't know. We did quarterback, corner, and wide receiver.
If there's a running back with a second round,
if there's a running back
so
there,
like if Travis Etienne is on the board in the 4th round, they better take Travis Etienne or Kenneth Gainwell. They better take Kenneth.
That's the crazy thing.
Right.
I hear you. I don't think they do it. I think they skip the wide receiver position,
especially the running back position.
The running back. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say running back.
This group is very arrogant about running backs. They can take anybody and make them look this. Like
they can do that, but you know what's crazy? Go get me some kid that's healthy. Stop bringing in these freaking non-drafted guys, and they play 3 games, get you excited, miss 7 games. Then you gotta go find another guy that could play 3 games, miss 7 games, and now we all like it's like a quiet storm with the running back position, and now your quarterback got to go out there and win every freaking game because you can't have a consistent running back. Go get me a goddamn young guy that's
You know what?
healthy.
You know what? With the news of them looking at being in on Giovanni Bernard, maybe they do take a running back at the BPA at that spot.
Or maybe they trade up and take Harris.
Yo, I would run through a wall if that would run through a wall.
That's right after they take Mac, right?
That's the only reason why they went to Alabama Pro Day.
Mike's going to lose his mind. They're going to take Mac and they're going to trade up and take Harris. You're going to be like, what the hell?
My God. Oh my God. All right. I think I actually realized I had a sound clip I was going to play. I listened to this Bomani Jones podcast, and I won't say he was blasting Kyle Shanahan. The premise of it was, if Kyle Shanahan is this genius that we all put on him, this title that we put on him, why would this genius be moving up to 3 to take Mac?
What the what?
Right? Mac Jones. Wait, and he says, because if Kyle Shanahan is the genius that they say he is, and he takes Mac Jones, isn't he admitting that Kyle feels like he can do it with anybody? He doesn't value the athlete or the athletics. That means that he's taking him because he feels like, I'm going to make this guy work in my system. Because he said it was a long little. It was probably about, I don't know, 6 minutes. I wasn't going to play all 6 minutes of it, but he says that someone else did a chart of strongest arm, a more elusive, best runner, IQ, da 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 da. They put all this stuff together, and Mac Jones was at the very bottom of every single list, except for what they were saying was intelligence, the smart guy, right? And they were talking about how he always seemed to throw it to the open person. And he said, well, if you ask me, you look at the receivers there, they're all open because they're all that much better than who they're playing against. He said it was the same exact questions we had with Tua coming out. But for whatever reason, Tua was looked at as questionable intelligence, but Mac Jones in the same situation is looked at as he's always throwing to the open person. He said, so if Kyle Shanahan is this genius and they go in here and they trade all the way up to 3 to go and get the guy that is the least physically gifted, that means that Kyle Shanahan is doing what we saw Chip Kelly do, which was, I don't need talent. I just need players in my system. We saw Chip Kelly shred apart that Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, Mike, you know that's BS, man. Kyle Shanahan needs talent. Every coach in the NFL needs talent.
Chip Kelly didn't know that, and that's what got Chip Kelly fired. And what he would that, but that's his point. He's saying that it doesn't make sense for Kyle to move up to 3 for Jones, because if he's as smart as we say he is, he knows that he still needs some talent. And Jones isn't the talented person of the top 5. That's what he was saying. And so if Kyle is as smart as we think he is, the pick is not Jones. If the pick is Jones, Kyle is the new Chip Kelly. He thinks that his system is above talent, and that's a problem. And I thought that was genius. I love listening to him break it down. It was really good. I was going to play it on here, but if you guys haven't heard it, go and listen to the Bomani Jones podcast. All right. I got my information I needed from you guys here. We are at the 2-hour mark now. I'm going to go with any final thoughts, man. We're going to wrap this one up. This was fun. By the way, guys out there in the chat, you guys are there. You guys have been talking music all night long. I don't know how Breezy was able to keep his cool.
Because you had me looking at that stupid list.
They got Jodeci versus Boyz II Men for a versus.
It doesn't match up. It doesn't.
Jodeci don't want that work, bro.
Joe.
They don't want that work.
Hold on. First of all, Jodeci got more bangers.
No.
Listen, you missing out on what I'm saying. So Jodeci got way more bangers. I'm talking about
Zach B. Bomani Jones podcast. Bomani Jones. He's on
Jodeci
ESPN.
got more bangers. Boyz II Men got more like hit #1 songs. There's a difference though.
I think you're forgetting about Boyz II Men.
I'm not forgetting about Boyz II Men. It's my favorite group in the world. So I'm definitely not forgetting about Boyz II Men. But if you ask people to go sing a Boyz II Men song and then go sing a Jodeci song, they're gonna sing. They're gonna have more Jodeci songs in their rotation than they would Boyz II Men.
You are crazy.
I'm just telling you. That's just they just. I'm just telling you, man. From a culture perspective, I would compare Jodeci. I would do Jodeci and Drew Hill. I feel like that's a better versus.
But that's because Cisco stole his. All right, I see where this is gonna go. I can't do. All right, I understand what you're saying though. But
just like I didn't like Earth, Wind, and Fire versus that band. I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers. I didn't like that. I didn't think that matched up well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even like DMX versus Snoop, but I got the dog thing.
Like it was a theme. Yeah. I will say Jodeci and more upbeat music.
That's what I'm saying. They got like more bangers.
BPM,
that's what I said.
BPMs is different than whatever. But if you're going song for song, you put one on, it's like, oh man.
Oh no. Like if you go, you gotta find.
Right.
I mean, Jodeci got 20 songs, but Boyz II Men got records.
Right. And that was awesome, so.
But I just don't think people want to hear that.
Let me get off of this show. Who is Dom? Somebody block Dom. What
did Dom say?
He said Boyz II Men is overrated.
Yeah, Dom. Yeah.
I don't. He's got to be 12.
Boyz II Men is probably
come to the end of the road. Then.
Yeah, here we are. All right, so let's get some final thoughts, man. Let's give it to Brian first. We're gonna give Brian final thoughts. Then we'll go Breezy. Then we'll go Tony. And then we're gonna get up out of here, man.
Well, when we do that draft show, you better not give me the second round. That's all I got to say.
All right, that's his final thought, man. Wayne, what you got for us, bro?
I'm ready to draft. I'm ready for the real draft, and I'm just so tired of the macaroni Joni stuff and Justin Fields and Trey Lance and Sir Lancelot and Field of Dreams. Like I'm hoping. I like what you were saying about that guy, man. I'm hoping Kyle Shanahan. To me, Kyle Shanahan would be more genius taking someone he's not comfortable with and making that quarterback a successor in the NFL. That would show me more genius of Kyle Shanahan. So if he can get a guy like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, a guy that he passed up on when he had a Colin Kaepernick, if he could take a guy like that and do some things, then Kyle Shanahan would be the greatest genius of all time.
We're gonna see about his genius this year, and I'm with Bomani Jones. If the pick is gonna tell me genius or no, insane, and you know the difference between genius and insane, it's a very slim thing.
Fine line.
The fine line. One is being able to explain yourself and get other people to understand.
That's the genius.
That's the only difference between genius and insane. That's it. All right, Tony. That's what I was gonna say to the chat. I don't know what other shows are going to be planned for other people. I don't know. I know Nick likes to do full mock drafts. We will be doing mock drafts. If I'm on and I'm hosting a mock draft, it is not going to be a full 7-round mock draft. It'll be 3 or 4 rounds. That's it. And we'll do 7s later on with trades and all that stuff. But if I'm doing it and I'm hosting it, it's going to be 3 or 4 round mock drafts just for a little bit, and then we'll move on to 7s and trades and stuff like that. But we gotta slow walk this thing because we're gonna be sitting here like y'all just said. Both of y'all just said, I'm ready to draft. I'm ready for the real thing. Like I get it, but that makes for, to me, repetitive, and I don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, we're ready. I'm ready for the real thing more because of the quarterback situation.
29th. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, like and so now that we moved up to 3, I mean, the anticipation is there because after these last 2 pro days on tomorrow and the 19th, then it's like we sitting for a whole another week trying to figure out what the heck Kyle Shanahan wants to do. So I think that's what it is, man. I think if we were drafting 12, I think it'll be a little bit more kosher, but we're not. We're drafting 3. The anticipation is crazy.
I agree.
Luther or Billy Ocean? That's a tough one.
No, whoa. Why y'all talking about that?
But I'll go Luther all day.
Yeah. I don't think Breezy, I don't think that's what they was talking about. Never mind. Hit the Googles. Tony.
Caribbean Queen.
Let me get your final thoughts, bro.
That's my joint.
I'm there. I'm just ready for the draft. We're going to keep working on this series to make the draft board for Nothing But Niners. It's going to be interesting this year.
Jalen! Go, Jalen! You mother sucker! Sorry, Tony.
You good?
I got him. Go ahead.
That's it.
No, I repeat the end of what you said. We didn't hear you.
We're gonna finish the Nothing But Niners draft board for this year. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a couple new twists to the draft show this year. So just be ready.
Ooh, he's dropping hints. Listen, guys, this is the boring part. This is the frustrating part. This is the annoying part. We're gonna get through it. And I promise you guys that when we do our draft, when we do our official mock draft here on Nothing But Niners, I promise you guys, we're going to stick to the board. We're going to be true. And we're going to get at least 3 picks right. Let's put some money on it. Man. Can I? There you go. Breezy back on now.
Oh, my God. What is he doing
now?
What?
You ain't see that 3, baby? 10-2
He's summoning
run.
some power there, yeah.
He going to get ready for Pound Town over there. Let's go, baby. All right, that's going to do it for the show tonight, man. Fellas, I want to thank you all for rocking with us, man. I really, really appreciate it, guys.
That defense!
Oh, God. Fuck that shit. All right. Oh, I'm not on mute. I muted him and then cursed. All right, so we're going to get up out of here, guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with us. You guys already know the deal. Make sure you guys subscribe, locked in. Make sure you guys turn on your notifications as well. And we're going home, man. I'm going to take them off from mute so we can get up out of here. All right, ready? Here we go. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
We out of here, y'all. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners.